We'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Chris, if you'll take roll.
Yes, sir. Scott Meyer,
Here.
Chris McCray here, Dan Hughey,
Here.
Ed Brand,
Here.
Stacy Nielsen.
Here.
No.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Coming through loud and clear too, Stacy. That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Good to see you. Glad to have you. So we have a quorum. We need to approve the meeting agenda. However, we do need to make an adjustment and add the taxman reimbursement consideration.
Motion to approve agenda with the addition of the taxman reimbursement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, look for a motion to approve the minutes of May 15.
Motion to approve minutes of May 15.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Look for a motion to appoint a vice president to the committee.
Make a motion to appoint Dan Hughes.
All second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations, sucker. Dan,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
Sorry. All right, we have no old business. Moving on to new business. We can do the tax man first, if that's all right with everybody.
Sure.
Adam?
Sure. So the redevelopment commission back at the May meeting committed $9,055 as the town's contribution to the beer garden area enhancement that was completed. So they've attached receipts showing all of that work. And Jeremy Chastain, who is one of the co-owners, is here in case you have any questions.
Hi, Jeremy, if you would state your name and
Jeremy Chastain. I'm here representing Taxman. So, yeah. First of all, did you guys get to see it?
Yeah.
You haven't been by yet.
Looks great.
I've driven by it and stopped a bit.
Better, worse than you thought?
No, pictures
About
look
what you
great.
thought?
Pictures look great.
Good. So, I know Nathan sent over some of the receipts, most of the receipts, but he left out a big one. The big one was for the planter boxes. So I don't know if you guys saw that. It got added in at 2,212. So and this is a little short, I'm sure, but we're over little over $20,000 in it. So we're asking you for the 9, whatever you guys committed to.
yeah, he had indicated he's okay with the 9. that we-
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we said when we were here the first time. We were like, yep,
Thank
if
you.
we're over, we're whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Jeremy? Ed?
No.
Chris?
Nope. Looks good.
All good.
Pictures look awesome. We really appreciate you doing that.
Come by and have a beer.
We'll be there. My wife and I are gonna be there Saturday afternoon.
Awesome.
Yes. Where's the live music gonna be?
Well, they asked us if they could have it down in behind the beer garden. And we said yes, but I don't know
Okay,
what has come of that since.
all right,
So
good deal.
it's available, but I don't know if it'll ever.
I'll let her know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, we're great. Thanks, Jeremy. We appreciate it.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we award taxman with the $9,055 for the facade improvement on his business.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Jeremy, thank you. Congratulations. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming up. I know you had plans. Yeah. RDC to consider paying a facade repair grant request for 106 South Main.
All right, for this item. This was back in April, you had authorized $14,100. And that was for tuck pointing on the building at 106 South Main. And as a side note, that should clear the way to hopefully do a mural on the building at some point, so we can look to resurrect that project now that that important work has been done. And with that, the applicant Jen Shafter is here to answer any questions that you might have.
Who is it? Okay. All right, please state your name and relationship to the project.
Jen Schofter, facade repair for 106 South Main.
Okay, so we're looking to pay the invoices?
We paid
Correct.
the first half and the balance is due. The work is complete. And that's the 14,100.
Okay, so these are pictures of the project prior to completion. I haven't been by there in a minute.
And those are the ones that were in the packet were after.
Right.
Yeah, the building, I believe the gentleman said it has to cure for like 30 days before we can paint it. And I don't believe we've gotten anything on the mural that was proposed.
No, essentially, we kind of just on the back burner for the time being, so I would urge you not to paint the building yet until we can at least look into the idea, bring that idea back. I know that Mike McEvers did send over a proposal, so we can dive back into that project and get the group back together. Try to see what can be accomplished.
Okay, so this is what it looks like today.
Right.
And the painting is gonna be in a few weeks.
I don't think we're gonna paint it until we know what the mural, the town.
Mural's gonna do.
Yeah.
Because obviously the colors would have to coordinate and how much of the building is the mural gonna take? I don't know.
Is the front going to be taken care of too when the project's finished?
Yeah, the front will have to be painted as well.
But that was, the painting is included in our portion.
No,
So the tuck point is all we're
Correct.
contributing toward.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thought it was the
The
painting thing.
starting of it was the town wanted a mural. And I said, well, we can't paint anything until we address the
Right.
fact that the brick was falling off. So we just kind of did it just as a two-step process.
Okay. So everything we committed to is done.
Correct.
Are you happy with it?
Me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the work?
yeah.
I haven't
mean,
looked at
it
it.
looks kind of ugly, but
Oh, right.
mean-
Tuck pointing can be very subjective. I
Yeah.
haven't looked at it up close, but
there were two pretty obvious outlines of where there used to be windows.
right, I
And we
remember.
replaced those. So I think once it's painted, it will be a better backdrop and canvas for a mural. It won't look. It won't get in the way, if you will.
Now you got up there with a ladder, and inspected all this,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah,
naturally.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and made sure it was all done up to the.
Well, we definitely appreciate your willingness
Yeah.
to potentially allow the building, a
Yeah.
mural on the building.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other questions for Jen?
No.
No, not here.
Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve payment of $14,100 for 106 Main.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jen. Congratulations. Looks,
Thank you very much.
it'll look great when it's all done. Next item, RDC to review and consider approving a letter of intent for SC Bodner regarding development of the multifamily component of the Mershow property.
All right, so I can tee this up, and if Alex, if I miss anything that's pertinent, feel free to augment it. So as you know, the Merchot property that's east of the downtown area here was originally going to be developed by Loft Development. They backed out of the project. And so there are two groups that are looking to pick up the property. The one group would do multifamily, and they're called SC Bodner. Their offices are out in Carmel, I believe. And then there would be another group that they would sell the eastern part of the project for commercial or light industrial. And so in order to get the project moving, Bodner are going to have to sign a development agreement with the town in order to determine who pays for what, how the bond is financed and backed, et cetera. So there are a lot of other steps in the process that would need to happen. What this document before you is simply a letter of intent that speaks for itself. And in that, the point of it is just to think of it as a precursor to the development agreement that basically says that the town is going to work cooperatively and exercise good faith in trying to put the financing for a project together. We're not going to work with any other developers during that period of time. And so that's the main purpose of the document. It also says that Bodner would pay for some fees that are generated by either Alex's firm or by Buzz Crone's office for accounting, which is good. We did not have that in place with Loft. So with that, if you have any questions, be more than happy to address them. And Alex, I guess, is there anything that you'd like to chime in on?
No, I think you covered it. As you mentioned, it's all of the details of the financing, what the public infrastructure or public improvements will be, and so forth. Those will all be detailed specifically in the development agreement, but this will allow us to put pen to paper and really get that all started, and hope to have that document, the development agreement, back in front of you in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Alex, I know the previous entity we were working with, there was a taxpayer agreement we thought they were on board with, and then they kind of changed their mind. Has that taxpayer agreement already been kind of at least raised with the Bodner group, so they're not going to be surprised by it later?
It has. And we've had several preliminary discussions with Michael Garvey with SC Bodner, as well as their counsel, David Adams with Krieg DeVault, Dennis Otten sitting next to me. And so, yeah, they know that that's on the table.
Great. And I just looked at the company briefly earlier today, and it looks like they've been around for quite a while from a construction standpoint and development standpoint. Looks like they have 31 properties in about 13 different states. So they're not somebody that's new to the game. So I at least did a little background check on them also for us.
I have a question. This is probably way ahead of the game. And maybe not the proper place to mention it, but I think it needs to be noted, is when we have these big developments coming in, I think we ought to incorporate some way to get these developers or whoever is doing this to in some way help our police and fire department with the extra load that we're going to create with that. And we've had a lot of developments that we went in here since I've been sitting up here, and that's never been incorporated. And I think it should be, because we got these apartments that went up. Now I realize they get tax money for the police and fire, but the extra load we're putting on that our police and fire department, and even the utility department, because the utility gets,
Impact fees.
impact fee on the hookups and everything. But I think that should be something that be thought out and addressed when we get down to the fine points of it.
All right. Thank you.
I'm good.
So my question is, that in this agreement, it says that they're going to reimburse the town for these fees. Is that correct? We're paying those fees up front, and then they're gonna reimburse us if things go south? Or are they gonna pay them up front? And that's just a little miswording.
I think that we can pass those through to SC Bodnar. Michael Garvey, are you the iPhone that's on? Maybe not.
Yes, can you hear me?
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay, I'm out of town at a wedding, I apologize. Yes, we'll pay those directly. There probably should be some level of approval process that you undergo. Anyway, I'm assuming, Alex?
Yeah.
So we know we're approving invoices that both the town and SC Bodnar have approved.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so I think it'll probably in some months take a little more time, but I think we would still present our invoices, and I would ask Buzz to do the same to the RDC so that you can review and look at them, approve them, and then rather than sending them to Missy for payment, we'd provide them to Michael and SC Bodnar and work through it that way.
That's acceptable to us as a process.
And not that we've had a problem with that in the past, Alex, but that's something that if I had any say in it, I'd like to see that verbiage changed in there, that we're not paying those and we're being reimbursed. If I can ask for that. So if we don't have any more questions, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve, the letter of intent for SC Bodnar to move forward on development of the property.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to wrap this up, Scott and Michael, RDC, I will make an amendment to clarify that language in paragraph 4 about the payment and the process, so it's clear. I'll send it, Michael, to you and David on your side. Just make sure you're okay with it, and then once we have that nailed down, I can send by DocuSign to everybody to put their signatures on, if that works.
That's great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, review of financial.
Make a motion to accept the financials as written.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of invoices. Veridus Group, Bose, McKinney, and is that just the two? Yeah.
Motion to approve, invoices.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Hey, real quick though, Adam, this is,
Oh,
oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No,
Aye.
go ahead. Oh, is it discussion about this?
I just want to verify this is the last
That's
payment.
discussion.
That's the last payment we're gonna have on the Veridus.
Correct.
Thank you. Sorry, Scott.
You're good. Motion to approve, all in favor, but indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. Public? All right, nothing. Staff comments.
Yes, so just one item I wanted to mention quickly is, as some of you may know, Fortville Action and the town are working on a possible project to improve Landmark Park. And it could possibly be accomplished via the build, operate, transfer methodology that's been done for other public projects. At a recent council meeting, there was a presentation to go over that project. But just to give you all a heads up that there's a possibility that the group may be coming before you in the coming months to formally seek a funding commitment for that project. So just wanted to at least give you a heads up on that. Sure.
Thanks, Adam, for bringing that up, but I did want to say that I know I've been working with Heath and a couple of council members, and we have been looking at kind of going to do some of those improvements that was brought before the council and the RDC earlier. I think that last plan that came about was about a $3 million project, and we wanted to whittle it down, see what we could do to make more sense. Since then, we've been working with a developer contractor pretty much to do a BOT and a BOT. So we've got a plan put together that incorporates a 30-foot gazebo, public restrooms, a seating area under shelter for, say, parents or anybody wants to sit out there, new playground equipment, some nice exercise workout facilities, a new bridge crossing over School Street that'll be wide enough. It'd be like a 6-foot wide bridge to replace the truck frame bridge that's in there now that's really kind of, you know, past its life expectancy. And also we're looking at replacing most, if not all, of the sidewalks within the campus there, going to a 5-foot for the perimeter and maybe even wider for some of the areas within the park itself. With the BOT, the council approved that. We're advertising, I think today was the first advertisement. I don't want to quote the dates because I may be off a day or two and I don't want to make it public that I set the wrong dates, but we do have to advertise twice. So today, and I think it's another 7 days from now, and then we'll be receiving those requests for proposals the 1st of August. And then it'll come back before council to decide if they want to move forward with the BOT. And if they do, that's when I may come back to you folks, explaining the project, asking for funding. We did ask them to break the project down into 3 phases, just for cost wise. You know, if we want to do the restroom and the gazebo and then come back and do the playground and some of the other stuff. So we phased it out to see if it was something manageable, you know, just so we didn't get, you know, too far extended. We didn't want to do all or nothing. So we just wanted to put that in, you know, just to let you know that that was coming. That was something that we've been working on. One other thing, the Veridus group, that was the last invoice you had this evening. Those roundtables were very successful, I think. There was, we had 2 roundtables with, what would you estimate was developers at each one of those?
I would say in total, we probably had 50 to 60 people.
Yeah, as the developers and stuff, and they were very successful, and we've had a lot of the developers come to us with interest and wanting to talk about some of the parcels that we talked about. Some of them were even talking about parcels that wasn't brought up in that meeting. So I would say even today, we're still getting inquiries from some of those folks. And I don't know if you've got an estimate on how many that you're working with or has reached out, but I just want to say I think it was very beneficial, very, you know, helpful to do that. So it was a good cause.
Yeah, I agree.
Joe,
Yes, sir.
I know this is a touchy subject with everybody, but this improvement, the Landmark Park, I realize the park's up front. A lot of the play area or the football field or whatever you want to call it is back there. I'm a stickler on getting Stollmeyer ditch cleaned up.
I agree.
Now, you're gonna put the bridge over the ditch, which is county property. So this may be the time to address it.
I've been trying to get some approvals through the county for something. I've been dealing with the surveyor. As far as what they would approve, what would go in there that would dress it up to fix it up. He only had one item that he thought would be approved, and it was more of an erosion control kind of a thing. And I've been trying to get the details from him on that for quite some time. I've not received them, so.
You know, we've talked about this before and you know, you got your whims about it and the county does too, but is there such a situation that they could pay us to have our people keep that clean?
We actually do keep it, we mow it. We usually do it once a year. And typically what happens is there's on your taxes, you got a ditch assessment for Stottlemyre ditch because that's where, well, Dan probably doesn't, his probably goes to a different ditch, but most of the properties inside the corporate limits pays a ditch assessment. I think it's $15 a quarter. And if you'll notice, you haven't paid that for years. That's
Right.
been frozen. That's been frozen because the town comes through and maintains it, keeps the trees down, keeps the brush down, everything once a year. It's not beautifying it by any means, but we are keeping it functional and flowing. And so what happened is, the way I understand it through the county, they collect those ditch assessment dollars for so long until they feel like they've got enough in a pot to do the repairs and come in and dredge it and clean it up and do everything that needs to be done. And since we've been able to keep it mowed down and in the shape it's in, they've been able to freeze those funds. So that's been a huge savings in tax dollars to the residents here in town. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but.
Well, that'd be kind of thing, that kind of one of my projects on this project is I'd like to see that cleaned up and maintained, especially, well, just say from Merrill to Leland, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it's, you don't want them coming in here, I realize that.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done.
With us keeping it clean, it keeps the county from having to come in and dredge and
Right.
bring the big dump trucks in and rut everything up. And
Right.
I've been here a couple times when they've done that, and it was, it's quite intrusive to the property owners in the town
Right,
and the streets and slinging mud and leaving debris everywhere. And then it just, it changes things so much when they come through and do that. I mean, we can step it up as far as trying to keep it mowed and cut back, more often than once a year.
Maybe there could be a line item in this project that's for maintenance on the ditch.
You can't use tip dollars for maintenance.
Okay.
So, but if there's anything that we can do that we could build into it that would make it more maintenance free, I am 100% for that because, I'd prefer not to be out there or have the guys out there in the day.
Well, I realize that.
Years ago, when we first started, we had them down there with weed eaters and loppers and chainsaws, and they were down in there cutting them out. But that was when we invested in the mower that fits on the mini excavator, and we're able to keep it cut down now. That made a huge difference and makes it to where we can actually keep it cut down.
All right.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but what are you looking for? Just to be mowed down or
Well,
riprap stone?
I'm looking at riprap and maybe the riprap like they put fence on it or put slurry on it where the kids can't throw crap in it.
The Gambian baskets type things.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lot of money,
Mhm.
but I just think with this improvement on Landmark.
Yeah.
And
I
everything
agree.
around it is looking good. And then you got this weed infested ditch back here that's infested.
Mosquitoes and.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other benefit of keeping the trees and the weeds cut down is when the sun's shining, the mosquitoes aren't near as bad, and then there's running water. So when you get in the shade, tall grass, water starts standing because there's blockages, and that's what really makes them mosquito.
And I realize the manpower problem,
Yeah.
with you and the county and everybody, but it needs to be taken care of.
If I start collecting tolls on that bridge, I might be willing to contribute some of those back.
Like I say, the town's been maintaining it. It's actually it's the county's ditch and it's their, you know, responsibility to do at that point, but they're not going to come in and do an annual or, you know, every month maintenance on it. They're gonna wait till there's a desperate need and they're gonna come in and spend that money they've got, dredge the whole thing and then turn around and unfreeze the ditch assessment and start charging that again.
Now, is that bridge gonna be a walk bridge or golf carts or?
I'm not gonna say it's for golf carts, but I will say a golf cart will fit across it.
Yeah, I realize that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be 6.
Joe, real quick, you said we're gonna do it under a bot.
Yes,
So, you know, I get the build part. How long would they be responsible to operate?
until it's completed
And then
it's
we
done.
transfer.
Yeah, as soon as it's
The
completed.
build's not gonna be responsible for that.
No, correct. Yeah.
And then normally on a bot, they go get their own financing lined up for this. Is that something we could have, we're gonna have, make sure Buzz looks at to make sure they're getting the best, most adequate financing for us? Because at least somebody should look at that to make sure we're.
Yeah, again, I don't know, and that's something that I'll work out with Alex too. but I think part of coming back to you folks asking for funding may be just the way that they're working to get around financing.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure, because I've seen some bots where I've seen some pretty high interest rates on the financing they've gotten.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I just want to make sure we're guarded against that. You know what I'm talking about, Alex, right? Thank you.
I've not given up on the ditch yet. I knew that was a concern of
Yeah,
yours and I agree with that. And I will again tomorrow reach out and see if I can find out what product it is that they will allow in the ditch and see if that's something we can
I mean,
incorporate.
it's
Really, what do they care? They don't come out and do anything.
well,
Probably even know where it's at.
well, yeah, but you know, I realize the cost and everything and, you know, I'm looking at a perfect ditch, which I know will never come, but I think it needs to be improved.
Yeah. And I know there was a time years ago, once it was first dredged and all the storm inlets and everything was repaired and, you know, fixed up where it dumps into the ditch. There's a lot of riprap put in on the ditch banks around where the pipe went in, stop erosion and everything. And that ended up being more of a headache. We had the guys down there with the backhoe all the time cleaning the riprap up because the kids were trying to dam the creek and
Yeah.
wanted to have a pond and stuff or make a bridge they could walk across. And again, that started causing damming water. Then we started having mosquito issues because it wasn't moving and then, you know.
I know I'm talking big money, but you know, years ago, they put a pipe underneath from Madison on the Spellmeyer part, you know, they buried that during there.
That was very, very big money.
Yeah, I imagine
Very
that would
big
be,
money.
yes. And today's dollars, I can imagine what
Mhm.
that'd be.
Well, keep in mind,
No.
part of that ditch, 75 feet from both sides of the ditch banks is part of the county's easement right away to get in there and work on it to maintain it. But then also there's the floodway. I don't know if the floodway comes out of the ditch banks. I think it stays in, but there's a floodplain, I guess it is, that comes outside of the ditch. So they've got that designed and then they got all the bridges across the roads and everything calculated to where if we get a 100-year storm or 500-year storm, whatever it is, they expect that water to come out of the ditch bank so far and then be able to go back down. If we start putting concrete boxes in there, which I don't think any of us can afford because that's, the
Right.
price is way sky high. That does reduce that floodway. So, and then anytime you start, I call it a floodway, I guess more of a floodplain. Anytime you start building in a floodplain, if they'll let you do it, you gotta replace it somewhere else. So you have to
Right.
dig out something.
Right.
So,
Your backyard.
and then storm inlets where water sheds and runs into the wall.
You'll
So
have
just
a
something
pool-
to think
you'll have
about.
a pool in your backyard.
Sweet. Now 75 feet goes halfway into my house, so.
So we better hope they don't come through and need to clean it out on your side.
Oh, they got bigger problems than just my house.
That's all I have. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks. Anything else from me?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
We didn't call you up here. You came up on your own.
Never do that again.
Any board comments? Adam, was that it for staff comments?
That was it.
All right, board comments?
Oh,
Let me back up the meeting so we can go back to close. Oh, close.
I just wanted, we've had a conversation with a company called Placer AI. And they're a data farming company, I guess is what the best way to explore. It's for development purposes. It's a really neat thing. They've got several different platforms to pull information from. And it's all based off of cell phone location. So, and data is also pulled from that as far as income and other stuff, but it's more used for development. It also has a platform where you can determine what kind of retail or industry would be good in our location based off of what's around us and how many people come to town. It's a very interesting, I've never really seen anything like it that can harness that much data. And they do a lot of it. And they have a lot of other municipalities that do it. It's not cheap. And we'll probably be coming to you to look to fund it. Right now, I think it was for 24 months, it was $10,000 for the first year. And they've reduced that for us as well because of the lack of funds here with all the SB1 stuff. And then the second year would be 14, but they also give us an option to opt out after the first year or two. But it's something great that we could present to a developer as well. One that comes, and a lot of them do their own footwork up front, I think, but this also could give them a different look to what we need and what we're looking for. So I think it's something that we should definitely consider. So with that note, if you guys would like, we can have them present to you so you can see what it is. Or we can invite you all on a Zoom and he can do with you what he did with us so that you can see what it is. Because I'd like for you to understand what it is and feel like it's something that's worthwhile for us too, because it's expensive, but I think it's worth it if we can use it in the right manner. And it will be assigned an individual that will take care of us. And like Joe said, maybe we can get them to run all the reports for us, but everybody can be trained on it, all the staff here in the town to be able to use it. But it's complex, but we'll always have somebody there that can do it for us too. So, but I think it's worth your while to.
I'd like to see it in person myself.
Yeah, and you can look them up online too.
Ed doesn't have his checkbook, so we can't write a check today.
And I can forward to you some of the stuff that he's already sent me. He did a little pulled some data for Landmark Park just because it was a conversation. So you can see some of the information, like how many people came during Summerfest or Winterfest, and where they came before that and where they went after that, and where they're from. So, it's really interesting what you can find out.
They're
very, yeah, they are, let's see, I don't want to say they're experts, but one of their platform things is, security, private security. So they're probably one of the few firms that go through what they do to have that. Because that was one of the questions I asked him too about people's data.
Big Daddy watching.
Yeah. If you got a phone, he knows.
Now you gotta pay him to see what he's watching.
Yeah.
What did you say the name was? Placer?
Placer AI.
AI.
Yeah. And you want me just to send you some of that information, or you want to have him reach out to you guys to do a demo for you on Zoom? Or I could have him even come to a meeting if would be better for you. I think or he probably would be on Zoom at the meeting. I don't think he'd come here. He's in New York. Yeah, he's from New York. So they do, they're a remote business. They don't have a physical location. So, but they're all over the country.
I'd rather have him just do it here during a regular meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody good with that?
Did they reach out to you or did you find them?
They actually reached out to Heath and talked to Heath first about the Parks Department, it's a great thing for that too. And then he had them call me and to see if the town would have an interest in it for the rest of our, development needs, which is really a development and planning tool, I feel like, more than anything else. But if you have that during your meeting, that's a pretty long. Yeah. It's a 45-minute presentation. What it was for us.
We met with him for 45 minutes on Zoom, and this is a very powerful program that it was like just barely touched, on the surface on what it can do. So the 45 minutes would maybe just be an introduction, for you guys that wouldn't be able to, explain how to do everything. But one of the things, just like Tanya was saying, it was pretty neat is we can see, like say an event, or we'll take a restaurant here in town. We can see who all's coming to that restaurant. Now, this information doesn't give names or anything. It's just this cell phone makes it here back and forth. We don't have cell numbers, no names or anything like that's attached. But say you can pick a particular restaurant and you can see how many local people are going to that restaurant. You can see where they're coming from. In fact, some of the places we looked at, I was surprised to see how far and out remote in the middle of nowhere that somebody came in to visit this certain location. And then you can go back, say a year, you can go back 2 years and see what kind of business this establishment has got today versus what they had 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Are they improving? It will also let you know, again, as Tanya touched on, what businesses we don't have that would be needed in this area. Maybe somebody that we could attract and go out and start looking for. Because it will also tell us who lives in, well, not who lives in town, but out of the people in town, where are they going? Where are they going the most? You know, if we see their Fortville people are going to Kroger a lot, you know, then we're gonna say, hey, we need a grocery store, which we all know that.
They might not have that data. If we had that to provide them, it might give them a little bit more of attraction, especially on the grocery store. We're really working very hard trying to make that happen, but without that kind of specific data, maybe they're just, they don't think it is what it is. So until you deep dive into this, and I don't know anybody else that really does that, so.
But the guy was telling us, Nick, as we were discussing it, that a lot of these bigger companies use them, you know, some of these big names, but they're also looking at bigger areas and, you know, not really thinking about Fortville, you know, not even looking in the area. But if we can have a report that shows the need, then that helps to draw them here.
Sure.
And another tool that I would say, and I don't know whether it would come in handy for us or not, I hope it would. But he was talking about how some communities are able to use this for grants, say like for park grants or something like that, showing how it, you know, how we're drawing people here with certain events and certain things. So one of the grants he was talking about was actually enough that it would have covered the cost of this for years, you know, so. It's something we were talking about possibly looking at, you know, try it for a year, try it for 2, see what it does. If it's beneficial to the town, then it'd be a great.
I was hesitant about the cost. I still am. It seems like a lot, but we're in a growth phase still. And I think that based on the response we had from the development meetings that we had with new developers, that this would be something good to have in a situation like that, to even give them another reason to look again if they overlooked and decided not to, you know? So, I mean, that was my take on it, but you guys need to.
Can we ask this guy if he's got an abbreviated version of his presentation? We don't need company history. You've heard all that. We just.
So, yeah, I think I could probably get him to arrange something that we could present here, or he could get on Zoom real quick and do it for you.
One of the things that I found was interesting on this, he can tell you what is the most visited site in Fortville. With that, what do you think that would be?
But it's not what I thought it was.
I probably would just initially guess Fox Garden.
Maybe Bleakfields are.
Post office.
It was actually Huck's.
Gas station,
Yeah, that makes sense.
a gas station.
Interesting.
And then, yeah, Speedway was right behind it. I think.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
That makes sense. Gonna go, a lot of people go there once or twice a week.
And then, really quick, the other interesting thing that you could do too is you can compare a site or an area to any other site or area across the country. Right. So, for example, you could compare basically the number of visitors to the CVS here in Fortville to a CVS, you know, in another similar town in Indiana. And you can see how we do in comparison to them. So.
Yeah, pick your people.
Sell them to it. We found out, you know, hey, this CVS is getting a lot more business than a lot of them around the country our size. And maybe that would be a good opportunity to say, you know, call them up. We need you guys to up your game a little better, a new location.
Some of the current that was my thought too.
Well, something about CVS, you could see how many people go to Myers or go to Hamilton CVS, and CVS says, whoa, wait a minute, we need to build a new one.
Because my wife won't go to that one. She's
Yeah.
actually having to drive through and
Mhm.
everything else. I get all my stuff filled
Yeah.
there because I want to keep it local.
Yeah, some of that data actually might be something for the police department to look at.
Sure.
Very much.
Find out where they're sleeping.
Fine.
Think about that.
And
And
house getting a lot of visits is one thing. Would it tell us where Ed keeps all his money?
No.
the one thing he did tell me is that any of that information that they pull from that cannot be used in court, like if they used it for activity at a house or anything else, unless it's the warrant is issued for that information. So he has some hesitations about the security on it too, which him and I talked about, and I asked some of those questions to Nick.
They've
So,
done this on both.
yes, yeah. The county, Hancock County, prison, no, what was the Hancock County group that's? I forget which one it was. There's somebody in the county that's using it now too. Or maybe I'm saying.
Honestly skeptical about it. I said, well, I was a little nervous about the concept of the government looking at some of this stuff. And what happens is, and this is a kind of put me at ease, is important things like names, phone numbers, that is actually stripped by the cell phone providers. So it's not even as if Placer AI is holding on to it and somebody could break in. They don't even get that information to begin with. So that was good to know.
Used that data in the past that doesn't do that. So I feel a little bit better about it like Adam too, after knowing that. So.
And the tool that we were talking about on there, you can set a place on every one of our major roads coming in town, and it'll give us the traffic count on, and let us know just
Wow.
how busy, with people with cell phones. I guess if you're going by there and you don't have a cell phone or you have a flip phone, it's not gonna tell us.
So-
it's a good way to find out which one of our roads are the busiest and like how many people are coming through that area, and do we need to start looking at some improvements?
So that fee they charge, is that just the fee to gather the data, and then if we want to know something, we have to pay an extra fee?
We can go out and do our own reports.
We'll pull our own reports.
And you get a login. Like there was an unlimited amount of logins for your company group
Yeah. The town.
organization.
He said everybody, town staff could be.
Alex, do you have any?
No, I mean, the information sounds great, and I was surprised about Hux. But yeah,
That's the Godfather.
That's true.
I would have guessed Fox Garden Taxman, but Hux fried chicken, I guess, and pizza.
That's the Godfather's pizza.
It is.
Cluck.
You got nothing to stop.
Well, I gotta get home and order my landline because I'm getting rid of my cell phone.
I'm wondering, I mean, it sounds very interesting and fun, but I wonder if there's other companies out there that do the same thing. Potentially, for less money. Might be worth
I don't know.
us doing our research before we jump into something, but,
And, we haven't made any decisions, and
right.
I'll see if he can reduce this down. You guys can take a look, and I'm not trying to shove it down your throat, so to speak. I just, think it's something that.
Like it.
You know it if I.
He's used this a couple of years, to give information back
Yeah.
to tourism and everything, when we had our Summerfest or Winterfest. Because they can tell you
Yeah.
how many people come downtown.
It started in marketing for real estate companies. That's how this business started. So, just so you know.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor, keep saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Know what that is?